All right, hello everyone. So yeah, I'm about to just going to church, but like for today, but yeah, I want to just kind of just I don't know, I have some time before I need to go in, so I wanted to kind of give just make like a short video or something, and like really just, but really because I was just thinking about this on my way over, and I if you've seen any of my like previous videos on this channel, I'm sure you've seen me kind of maybe not blame, but also blame like the fan bases of like certain games and like franchises, and being like you know the fan base is the problem, blah blah blah, and especially when it comes to Halo, I think almost every video in that like Halo videos playlist I have on this channel is basically me just yelling at the fans. And the reason, I was thinking about that just on my way over, and I was like, you know what, I should probably make just a very short video, or just a video being like, why am I so hard, why am I so hard on fan bases? And like when I had Twitter, I said, I'll be like, fans are being babies, or I made videos where I'm like, you guys are being babies. So why am I so hard on fan bases? Why am I so hard on them? And really, the big thing is, in my opinion, the fan base has as much power. They have as much importance as the developers do on how a game is. And I'm going to say flat out, you can't criticize the developers. The people who make the game, you can't criticize them. You can't be like, hey, this isn't good. Hey, I don't like this. Hey, you shouldn't do this. But, I feel like the way the fan base reacts, or like just the way they act, will the developers will react to the way the fan base is acting. So I mentioned it earlier, with the Halo fan base, and like and, I always use the Halo fan base because they're always my go-to with just being most frustrated with, because Halo is one of my favorite franchises. It was one of the first few games that I played on the original Xbox that got me into Xbox as a whole, and and into gaming, and I absolutely love Halo. And the fan base annoys me. The fan base annoys me so much because, okay, look, if you don't like 343's Halo, that's totally fine. If you don't like the Halo games that 343 is making, that's totally okay. If you don't like Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, that's totally fine. That's totally fine, and you can criticize them and be like, hey, I just don't like it. My problem is very much the fact that really most, if not all, of the criticism, if you even want to call it criticism, it's Halo fans just complaining about whatever and then changing their mind immediately. And that's to me, this has always been this has been the biggest issue with all three of 343's Halo games. Halo 4, I think Halo 4 is a fantastic game. It's absolutely my favorite Halo game. I love it. Has the best story, best campaign. Like, it's so good. Yes, but the thing is, the multiplayer is not great. The multiplayer of that game is not great. There are a lot of issues with it. And it's like, yeah, you can criticize the multiplayer. But, at the end of Halo 4, there was a clear vision of where they wanted to take the story. There was a clear vision, and being like, this is what they want to do with Halo. But, spoiler warnings if you don't know. But, at the end of Halo 4, Cortana dies. And so many people were upset about that. So many people were upset about that. So, instead of just sticking to what they originally planned, 343 was like, okay, backpedal. Let's bring Cortana back in Halo 5. And then immediately everyone hated that. And, I don't like it either. I don't hate the idea. I don't like it because, it does, like, get rid of the, like, impact of her death. That she's back in the next game and she's evil, and it's like, okay, then that kind of makes her death kind of pointless. But that was entirely because the fans complained about it, and 343 should have literally just been like, hey, guys, we hear you, but we're sticking with our story. What we have originally planned, we are sticking with, and you will see where we are going with this. But instead, they backpedaled, and I fully believe that's the like every issue that Halo 5 has, like, with its story. I totally think it's because they backpedaled. Like, I totally think because 343 didn't stick to what they originally planned, and they tried to appease people that, frankly, like, just hated them from the very beginning because they weren't Bungie. And, but the thing is, Halo 5 improved on, the biggest problem of Halo 4 was the multiplayer. Halo 5 improved on that with, frankly, in my opinion, Halo 5 has the best multiplayer out of any Halo game. And the thing is, I do not like I don't really care for the multiplayer modes in Halo. Like, I said in my Combat Evolved video, and same thing with Halo 2. But, I said in both of those videos, like, the multiplayer mode has always just been like it's whatever. It's a side thing if you want to play the game after being a campaign. To me, the campaign has always been the most, the thing I focused on the most. But, Halo 5 has, like, the absolute best multiplayer. It does. So, they listened and they improved on it. But then, with the story and the campaign, it's very mediocre, and I fully believe it's because they backpedaled. They backpedaled and tried to appease people who were never satisfied and complain right out the gate about everything they did simply because they weren't Bungie. And then, but the thing is, then with Halo Infinite, they backpedaled even more. They got rid of Prometheans. They gave Master Chief a new Cortana, which is the weapon, and and then they gave, like, the original Cortana that we all know, like, a redemption arc thing, and it doesn't work. And really, all my issues with Halo Infinite is really just the fact that they backpedaled even more instead of sticking with what they want. And I remember when like, Halo Infinite came out, like, shortly after, one of the Halo YouTubers posted a video. It was it was a cutscene, one of my favorite cutscenes in Halo 4. It's Cortana, it's right after they all died from the Didax attack, and Cortana is sitting there, and she's like, I could hear all of them, and then she goes, they're gonna replace me. They're probably gonna give you another Cortana unit if Halsey lets them. And Master Chief goes, I'm not gonna let that happen. It's a very emotional scene, and I love it so much. And someone posted that, and they go, well, this didn't age well because, Master Chief now has a new Cortana in Halo Infinite. It's your guys' fault that scene didn't age well. It's your guys' fault that scene has not aged well. Because all of you complained about it. Literally, all of you complained about every single thing they did. So, and instead of sticking with what they had planned, they backpedaled so much. So that way, literally, that scene, literally everything that was, shown in Halo 4 literally means nothing because 343 has tried to appease people. And it's like, it's like, it's your fault. And then, there was another one where it's like, some Halo YouTuber, he was like, the Promethean should have been in Halo Infinite. And it's like, dude, you're the reason why they aren't in Halo Infinite. The Prometheans absolutely should have been in Halo Infinite. But they weren't because you and everybody else complained about it. And then now years later, you're like, oh, they should have been in Halo Infinite. It's like, do you not listen to literally the things you're complaining about? But then, I remember another one, someone was like, the reveal in Halo Infinite, Master Chief flying, just floating in space. That would have been way better if we didn't play as Master Chief in Halo 4 and Halo 5. And it's like, you guys literally complained about us playing as a different character in Halo 5. And it's like, this is what makes me upset. This is why I'm so hard on the fan base. But, it's not even just Halo. It's something like, it's also like Assassin's Creed, where it's like, Assassin's Creed, ever since, Assassin's Creed 3, which, funny enough, is the first game where you don't play as Ezio. But, Assassin's Creed 3 onwards, literally, everyone has the same argument. Everyone says the same thing. The gameplay, it's the same gameplay. It's Assassin's Creed. Every Assassin's Creed game is the same. They need to do something new. Well, they added the perk system in, Unity and Syndicate. Still, it was the same reaction. Still Assassin's Creed. They need to do something new. They need to do something new. They need to do something new. So, Ubisoft decides, you know what? We are going to do something new, and we are going to do what the fans want, and we are going to make the game an RPG. So, Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla are like full-on RPG games. And I absolutely love Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, with Assassin's Creed Valhalla being one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. Like, it's in the top 3 behind Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4. I absolutely loved Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But they made RPG games, and then everyone is like, hey, we didn't want this. We didn't want this. And it's like, you guys complained, I don't know for how long, that Assassin's Creed needed to do something new, and it needed to change. And now you're saying go back to how it was. And the thing is, you can dislike the RPG games. You can dislike the RPG Assassin's Creeds. But the thing is, you didn't tell Ubisoft any new ideas. You didn't say, hey, maybe do this, maybe do this, maybe do that. You literally just told Ubisoft, hey, do something new and completely different. And then when they did, you complained about it because, hey, I don't like this. Okay, well, you did not give them you didn't give them something to do. You didn't say, hey, keep the formula like how it is, but, change this, change that, maybe to do this. You didn't give them any ideas. Instead, it was just, do something complete, do something new, do something different. And then they did something different. And then now you're complaining that they did something different. And it's like, but then, then they went back to the original, like, kind of format with Mirage, and everyone complained then. And it's like, okay, make up your mind. Do you want them to change, like, how Assassin's Creed is, or do you not? Stick with something. And like, if you're going to criticize something, have an actual criticism. Have an actual criticism. Like, I think the whole, like, people complain about, the yellow paint in, video games. But, it's like, dude, I've seen Let's Players get lost on the easiest, most linear games ever. And it's like, and you complain, and, is the yellow paint, like, annoying? Is it, like, distracting? Like, you see that? Yeah. But, it's like, dude, I know for a fact, if, literally, anything that shows, hey, literally anything that shows the player, hey, this is where you need to go, people will complain about it. They don't have a solution. It's the same thing as, like, people complain about squeezing through the tight corners, and, like, they complain about that, and, disguising the loading screens, and it's like, dude, you need loading screens. Like, you do. You need loading screens because the game needs to load. Even with the Series X, there's still a loading screen, even though it loads extremely quickly. You still need that loading screen. But, people don't have a solution, because, the thing is, people have been complaining about this all the time. Like, as far as I know, everybody has been complaining about loading screens. They complained just about the normal loading screen, and then they complained about, the the way Metroid did it with the doors, and, sometimes they took a long time to open. But it's just, people always find something to complain about when it comes to loading screens, but then they don't have an actual solution. They don't say, hey, well, maybe do this, maybe do that. No, instead, they just complain about everything, and it's like, it's just like, I have to squeeze through tight corners. It's like, yeah, because you don't want the normal loading screen. You complained about that. Like, you don't want the door because you complain about that. So, hey, here's squeeze through the tight corner. Oh, now you complain about that. Give an actual solution that'd be like, hey, maybe do this instead of squeezing through a tight corner. Like, with the yellow paint, dude, like, you need some sense of direction for the players, because, everyone always says, oh, there's too much hand-holding. But then, a game like Elden Ring comes out and everybody complains, I don't know where I'm going. The game doesn't tell me where to go. Okay, do you want the game to give you a sense of direction and give you, like, like, hold your hand a little bit and be like, hey, this is where you need to go? Or do you want the game to literally tell you nothing and just say, go? Because either way, you guys complain about it. Either way, people complain about it. Either way, people are like, this is bad. And it's just like, make up your mind, people. And, it's like, that's basically why, I'm so hard on the fan base. And the thing is, you can criticize the developers. I'm not saying you can't. I know somebody's going to be like, well, that means, you're just saying don't criticize the developers. Dude, criticize the developers. criticize the developers. Yes, but the thing is, use actual complaints. They do something wrong, be like, hey, this thing right here is not good. Don't make something up. Don't complain because, like, a loading screen took 3 seconds to load and you're like, that's too long. Which, dude, I've heard those complaints. I've actually heard those complaints. That's not a complaint. That is not a real complaint. Okay, big actual complaints. But, I'm playing through Starfield right now. And, overall, I'm liking it. It's okay. It's a good game. I don't think it's Bethesda's best. But, I don't take any criticism for Starfield seriously. Literally, because when it came out, literally, one of the complaints I saw, literally, there was a straight, this guy was being serious. Literally, one of the complaints was, Bethesda, this is a M-rated game. Why can't I see, tits? That was an actual complaint made by somebody. And it's like, okay, why should I take any criticism for this game seriously? If that is seriously one of your complaints, why should I take it seriously? Like, there are things to complain about Starfield. Space combat is not good. It does rely way too much on fast travel. I wouldn't really call it an open world. It's more like a semi-open world, kind of like how the Dragon Age games are, where you just go from world to world, and then you have places to explore. But a lot of the planets are kind of just boring to explore. There's nothing really to explore. There is stuff to complain about, but I feel like a lot of the complaints for Starfield are just made up, and it's like, that is not an actual complaint. There are actual complaints, but you're not saying the actual complaints. You're just making up complaints because you want to jump on the bandwagon of just hating it. And, criticize the companies. But also, take some accountability. Take some accountability. And, they do something, you complain about something, and then, they listen and they do it. But then, they don't do it the way you want it. Bring up the RPG Assassin's Creed again. If you were one of the people who, said over and over again, Assassin's Creed needs to change. They need to do something new. Then they did something new, with the RPGs, making them RPGs, and you didn't like that, you should have said, hey, I don't like that you did this. I don't like that you went full on RPG. But it's but I will take a little bit of the fault of myself, because I did not tell you what I wanted. I did not tell you how you should change it. Instead, I just told you to do something new, and then I'm not happy with the results, even though I didn't tell you. I did not tell you any ideas that you could have done. So, criticize, the companies, criticize the games, but take some accountability, people. And that's why I'm so hard on the fan base. Or just fan bases, because they do, when something good and positive happens, they take credit for it. They go, that was absolutely the fans that did that. But then when something bad happens, they push all the blame on the developers, and it's like, no, dude, the fans have some of the issue. Fans have part of the blame as well. It's not just the developers. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the fans are like, hey, do this, and developers go, no, screw you, I'm doing my own thing. Then, you yell at the people making it. You yell at the people in charge of it. But, you also, the thing is, you also take accountability. You also go, hey, guys, we told, if everyone complains about something, and then you go, hey, guys, we as the fans actually complain that they should do that. So it's kind of our fault that, they did that, because they actually listened to us. So we'll take half of the blame for it. Just take accountability. Literally just take accountability. And, it's like, the 3 for 3 Halo games. Oh, the stories aren't, they don't fit well together. Okay, take accountability. Be like, hey, guys, that's our fault. We don't know what we want, and we complain about every single little thing, and so it's they are trying to appease the minority of people yelling about every single thing. So that's it's our fault that the 3 for 3 Halo game stories aren't they don't work well together. But that's just, and I know that won't be a satisfying answer. I know people will listen to this and they'll just go, oh, that's stupid. No, it's all the developers' fault. They just don't listen. Dude, But that's why I'm so hard on fan bases. That's why I call people crybabies, because it's like, guys, you need, like, dude, sometimes it is the developer's fault, but like, dude, the fans have a part to play when something goes wrong. Same reason as the fans have a part to play when something goes right. I don't know. Either way, I'll see you guys all in the next video, whatever that may be. I gotta go to church, so see you all later.